The British people have a great love, not just for birds actually, but for wildlife and animals generally. So it's part of our national makeup. And so people do want to see more farmland birds. They want to see more birds in their gardens. We believe our farmland can be one huge nature reserve, which is both producing food, which we need, as well as looking after all the species which live on our farm.
I'm a businessman. I only spend money if I need to and if I get a benefit from doing so. Looking after the soil, looking after the crops, making certain we produce very high standard food year in, year out.
And what we do at BASF is try and encourage the farmers to make sure that they manage the field margins, the outsides of the fields, for good biodiversity alongside great productivity.
The farm here is a privately owned farm by the Pitts family. Our arrangement is that they farm the farm the way they want to farm it. And we work alongside them, observing the biodiversity.
Why do I care about sustainability and working with BASF? We have 7 billion people on this planet right now, but in 25 years' time, there'll be 9 billion. There's the same amount of land, there's the same amount of water to feed those people. The only way we're going to do that is by embracing science and technology and allowing change to happen. We have to be able to use the best of everything. Best of organic practice, the best conventional practice, marry the two together and make them work.
What we need to do is to make sure we use that available area as best as we can for food production, but also producing biodiversity at the same time. And that's why we need to make sure that people understand how to manage these areas best. At BASF, we have some of the finest scientists working for us. But if we produce a set of data on this emotional subject of biodiversity using BASF scientists, our critics will say, well, you would say that, and we don't believe you.
Leaf are all about relationships and working with everyone within the supply chain, of which the chemical companies are really important. We have over 130 corporate members at Leaf, and we work with all of them to together provide a better platform for farming in the future. It's really great to have an opportunity for there to be the level of monitoring that's going on here at the Grange. That information allows us to show what the farmers are doing and the impact of that. Much of it fantastically positive.
Sustainability begins with profitability. If your business is not profitable, you cannot be sustainable. This is a yield map, and it shows the middle of the fields producing 12 to 14 tonnes a hectare, which is a very good yield, very profitable yield. But the outsides of the fields, you can see the dark brown and the orange are very much lower yielding. These will cost us money to grow. We plant wildflower strips around the edges of our fields, and then we get lots of beneficial insects, predatory insects, which will eat the aphids that will try and damage our crops. So not only are we taking out a bad area of production, we're enhancing the wildlife. And it means the average for the field goes up because we've taken the lowest yielding out, and therefore reduces our cost of production.
The strips here are laid out to be able to demonstrate what the strips may look like in 2 or 3 years' time after they've been established, and help them answer the questions: how do we establish these strips? How do we manage them? What is it going to cost? What does it look like? What are the benefits?
Will climb up around it.
The change over time, and particularly in the bird counts that we've seen, is incredible. The birds can be used as an indicator species. Where there are lots of birds, it suggests that there are lots of different habitats that they are able to breed in, to shelter in, to feed from, and to feed their young from.
Farmers are realising now that it's an important part of their job, not just to be producing food, but to be taking care of the environment at the same time.
In this country, there is a saying that your farm is not given to you by your parents, but your land is lent to you by your children. And if you just think about that, it implies that we are stewarding our land. We have a duty of care to look after our land and preserve it and improve it for the next generation.
BASF. We create chemistry.